Hello, this is Peg with Craft Room Stories. Welcome to my channel. Okay, so today I made, well actually this is what I made last time, a masterboard, trying to use up scraps. And that took forever because I'm slow. I'm slow at tearing and gluing. How sad is that? However, and I've ironed it, but it's not terribly flat. This is part of why I prefer to use Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1 or Fabrifix, but it's a little bit more expensive, and so I didn't. So I've ironed it. It's the best it's going to get. I might could iron each little piece and it would get better. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how many of you guys have spent a lot of time fussy cutting and everything. I have organized mine by color, and I have full boxes of almost every color. So we're going to make these some cluttered masterboards and see if we can't use up some of the fussy cuts as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I did real quick. Okay, this is the one you saw. Then we've got another kind of green one with some blues and or kind of tealy blues in there. And then we have another green one with some purples in it. I love green and purple together. Then we have purple with a little teal in there, but predominantly purple. Then we have just predominantly purple with some hems and stuff. Then we have some kind of navy with denim, pink, both pale and bright. Then we have kind of a blue, but like a periwinkle colored blue. And then we have the bright polka dotted one with all the bright colors. This is, I'm kind of excited. I'm wanting to do a Pokey Little Puppy journal, and I think I'm going to save this one to use for that journal. So we are going to put this one on the bottom of the stack and not start with that. But the fussy cuts I have sitting on top right now are purple. So I'm going to pull out these purple ones and maybe also the purple and green one and see what we can find. It doesn't mean that it has to be only purple fussy cuts on a purple one, but I'm kind of a color person. Like I want them to match. And so if I'm doing a purple journal, I want purple, predominantly purple things in it. It can be varying shades of purple sometimes, but that's just me. That's what I like. So let us pull out some fussy cuts and get started. Now, also, I'm going to move these aside. I'm getting a little overwhelmed here. I've got a box of neutrals. I've got some larger purple fussy cuts. These are from stuff I did with My Porch Prints, and I have some left over. I don't know that I want to do some of the larger. Well, I say larger. These are smaller, but I like them, and so we may use some of those. But I may not use some of these real larger ones. I would do those on a page decoration, maybe, you know, with some lace behind it or some vines coming out around it. But let's just see. Some of these have kind of some green on them as well. And I haven't inked around the edges of any of them. I probably will, because that hides my shoddy cutting. And then some of them I haven't cut as close in certain areas because I didn't want them to get damaged in the boxes. But let's see. I think to this I may also add some roses. And again, I don't know if I want to use the big roses, because you know, some of them are going to get cut in half and stuff when you go to cut them. I might do some perfume bottles. I don't know though, with these other ones I might want kind of more smaller roses, I feel personally. So I'm going to take some of these smaller ones out on this first one anyway. And also, I'm not doing as much with kind of the reddish purples, so I'm going to put some of those back and do the more, I prefer the blue purple anyway over the reddish purples, but that's just the design of this. Now that is green. That should not be in here. So I may put that aside to go with some of the green stuff. So y'all have to tell me, what do you do with your extra fussy cuts? Do you keep them all in the same kind of container, like this one was used specifically for this, you know, and keep them organized by like design? This was my porch prints and this was the name of it, you know, that sort of thing? Or what do you do? Okay, I know I'm pulling out a lot of them here, but they won't necessarily all be used on this one thing. I'm just pulling out the ones I really like. And then we're gonna get to sticking here. Okay. I might want some bows and stuff on here too. Let me get in here and see what bows I have. I love the paper bows because they stay so nice and flat. And those are pretty. And that's more of a reddish, but it's in the family. We'll keep it in the family. So what are you guys up to today? What are you working on? Let me know. So if I need to get some ideas going, you can help me out. It always helps, I think, to share ideas and what you're working on and so on, so that if you get stuck for ideas, you can, you know, glean ideas from somebody else. All right. Let me see. I'm sure there is a better way to organize these. I'm not there yet. I don't have the better system going right now, but this is what I've got. So this is what I'm working with. I put stuff down and then I'm like, no, reject. Reject it immediately. So tomorrow is my husband's birthday, and he's got more physical therapy going on. Or no, not tomorrow. Today was physical therapy. Tomorrow he's got another doctor's appointment, so happy birthday to him. But in getting all these doctor's appointments taken care of, then maybe, you know, we can get him some help and he can get kind of much more mobility going on for himself. Okay, so I should have probably planned ahead and had everything all inked and ready to just sit and glue it on. But I just brought you guys along for the ride. And some of these may have already been inked. Who knows? And I'm just inking with, this is the Distress Oxide Walnut Stain. I like, what is the one I usually use? I can't think of what it's called all of a sudden. What is wrong with me? Well, anyway, the other one I like, and it's kind of getting hard to use, and it's very dry, and I've inked, re-inked it and stuff, and it's not really accepting the re-inking at this point. I think the ink pad, I might have damaged it or something at some point, so it's probably time to go ahead and buy another one, but that's not really in the budget right now. We are using what we have. We are just shopping our own stash, and so we make do. We've got the walnut stain. I like it just fine. Okay, I'm looking at some of these to see. Most of them I'm probably okay with the edging and stuff on them, but I just feel like they stand out better on a page if you've inked them a little bit. I don't know. That may just be me. I know there are people that don't ink, and that's okay. Everybody does their own thing. But I love this little kit. I couldn't tell you the name of it. I just know I got it from My Porch Prints. And then I actually bought one from another person that was very similar to the one on My Porch Prints. And I ended up buying both of them because they each had something a little bit different that I wanted, but they really blended well with each other. But some of their stuff was very similar. So I don't know if the one person copied off of the other person. I don't know. They weren't identical kits, so I don't know that you could say that. But I'm going to cut this one down a little bit. But anyway, and I'm going to cut this one a little bit. In here where this fence is, I didn't want it to get messed up, so I just left it. Do you guys do that? I'm not sure how that goes. Just because of the way I store mine, probably if they were just being stored in a sleeve or an envelope or something like that, they'd be okay. I don't know. That's just what I do. I can't think of any fun stories today. I'm just hanging on by a thread, y'all, and I've got a couple of exchange students that are going to be that I'm going to be supervising. They aren't staying with me, but I'm the local coordinator, so I am trying to get them all registered with school and make sure everything is okay with them. And it's just, there's just a lot to do, and you got to make sure the family's ready. And thankfully this family has hosted before many times, so this is not new for them. I tried to kiss cut some of this, but some of it's a little wider than what I would have preferred. And I think at some point I just was giving it up. I just didn't want to keep going. And like Tina from Shabby Dabby Doodah says, you know, no one really knows exactly what those flowers look like. So if you lop off a leaf or a stem or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You're just adapting it to what you want it to look like anyway. So you can do that. But Justine from House of Mahalo has been coming up with some fun ideas for scrap busting. I recommend you go over and look at her stuff. And I may be doing some of it soon because I am all about the scrap busting right now because I'm trying to make room and be organized. And the best way to do that is to get rid of your scraps. So that's the reason for these Masterboards. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do Masterboards. I think it's just each person's individual thing. So I don't necessarily think I'm terribly good at it, but once you get them all decorated, it's, you know, it's kind of fun. And then you've used up some scraps. You feel less wasteful. Things didn't go in a landfill. And you feel like you are helping save the environment one craft at a time. So, there. I will throw all my little scraps away in a minute. But I'm going to go get this cut down a little bit further. Anybody else have to hold their mouth funny when this one's got some extra pieces I may just cut off. When they're fussy cutting or gluing, I find if I stop talking, it's because I'm holding my mouth funny. I've seen some people like stick out their tongue kind of a little bit when they're concentrating and cutting things, and I just find it interesting that everybody's different ways, and sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. I usually realize when I'm being extra quiet, that's what I've done. I'm holding my mouth funny. I know my husband's sitting over here going, when are you extra quiet? It does not happen. It does. When I'm crafting, it does. Which actually makes it really hard for me to make videos for this channel, because I am more quiet when I'm crafting, and I can either talk or craft, and I have a struggle to do them both at the same time. So here I am just you know, rattling on, saying absolutely nothing. What's the weather like where you guys are? I am telling you, here it is a scorcher. Now, it's not as bad as it has been because it's not above 100 degrees, so I'm fine with that. And my friend Gigi over at, I don't remember if it's Gigi's Creations, something like that. I'll have to look up her channel and link it below. She's fun to watch. I think she said she lives somewhere in Texas where it's like, I just don't think I could live there. She was talking about it being like 115 degrees. And would people mind if she has her fan on? I was like, oh my word. No, I have my fan on and it's like 90 degrees. So, yeah, cut that fan on. Do not even stress. I do not understand that kind of weather. I went to college in Texas, but I don't remember it getting up to 115 while I was there, but it's not the desert of Texas. I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But good night. Can you imagine? No. Of course, I know they say, you know, when it's in the desert, it's like it's a dry heat. So is an oven. So is an oven. I'm not crawling in there either. No. And there must be air conditioning. I noticed that in a lot of places in Europe, they like don't have air conditioning. It's not a thing. And I think to myself, no, how do you even survive? If it's like above 70 degrees, my air conditioner's on. That's just all there is to it. But then of course they have really thick walls in their house and they can open their windows and get a cross breeze. And they said it doesn't really get usually that hot, except for if they have like a heat wave and it gets like above 90 and then, you know, it's really, really hot in their houses. If I didn't have an air conditioner and I lived in Europe, I mean, like a central heat and air, I would definitely have to get like one of those window units or some sort of, you know, unit that, you know, they have those standalone air conditioning units. I can't think what they're called. I'm sure there's something. But anyway, I'd have to have something like that and I'd be sitting in front of it. Crafting probably, but sitting in front of it. I was watching a video on YouTube yesterday, and it was this really cute little house for sale somewhere in Italy, and it was $49,000, and it had like 2 kitchens because they said that's common in Italy because they have like a summer kitchen. I was like, isn't that interesting? I'm completely fascinated. I'm cutting off these little spiny things, y'all. I'm completely fascinated by what it's like to live where other people live, you know, what we're not used to. And so anyway, it was so cute. It had a separate garage and its garden, which that's what they call a yard. But this was actually, though, set up like a garden and not, I mean, like for vegetables and herbs and stuff. It was fenced in, you know, that's where my dogs would have to go for if they needed to go to the bathroom or, you know, because if you take them, they can't just go on the street. They've got to have a spot. And their dog, these people's that were selling their house, was just on a chain outside one of their little outdoor storage units. I mean, it was in the shade and stuff, so it wasn't hot there. They said it was like 70 degrees. But it was just hanging out there all by its little self. And I was like, oh. And it might have just been out there only because they were doing that video. I don't know. But anyway, just fascinating to me, an outdoor kitchen. And they're like, that's so you can, you know, make your spaghetti sauce without getting your whole house, like, hot. And I'm thinking, these people just definitely do not open up a can of ragu and have spaghetti sauce. They're making it from scratch and probably are, like, horrified at the way Americans eat. Well, I am too most of the time, but, you know, it is how we live. And what are you going to do? You can try to change it, but only so far. I find that I'm not terribly good at growing things. I'd love to have my own herb garden and vegetable garden and stuff. Oh, they're playing. Rob, could you spray them a little bit and make them stop? Gibson always has to be so loud when he plays. Oh, bless their little heads. It's not that I don't want them to play, it's just that I don't want them to play while I'm making a video. Okay, so really I've spent all my time just kind of inking this stuff and not gluing it down. So let me just do this last bit and stop rambling and get on here and glue some stuff. I don't know why I thought that we could do all of these at once. We're not going to be able to. We'll be getting lucky to get one done, and then I'll have to do the other ones off screen and send you a picture, you know, post a picture to my channel of what they look like when they're all done. And then the hard part is cutting them up, because once I get them all done, I'm like, oh, that's so pretty, I don't want to cut it up. But it must be done. Okay, so I'm getting some stuff out of the way. Now we're going to just decide where we want to put everything. Let me get all my scraps thrown away. And here we go. And we've got some glue. Okay. And it's just random, you know, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to be just cutting it up. But I sometimes want to think, you know, where does this look the best? Like on a... And I have mine all kind of going mostly the same direction. Let's see, let's put this one there. Little, and we'll just fill in with roses. Let's do that. Putting all, woof, flicking everything all over the place. We've got some fountains in here and these little archways and stuff, so pretty, and we've got the bows. So let's get them all ready. And the one perfume thing, which we may or may not use. I'm thinking maybe not on this one, just because it has an exceptional amount of black on it. And that's not kind of the direction I'm going with this. Okay, here we go. Now, we're going to have some houses on there. Houses, cottages, whatever, sheds. Okay, those are all the sheds I have. So, let's see where that shows up the best. Yeah, and then some little archways. And we're just going to make this a cluttered masterboard. And let's get to gluing. Let's get to gluing, y'all. And then, when you go to cut them out, you know, you basically put a little lace on it maybe, and put a little phrase and word, a topper, or whatever, and you've got whatever is already made. Your tag, your pocket, it's predominantly done. So, it's kind of time consuming in the meantime, but then when you go to cut it up, you've got like, you know, 6 different items, which is awesome. Okay, that's sticking to me now. Let's just press that down. I'm not putting an exceptional amount of glue because this does not require it. You can see where I messed up printing on the back of that. Reuse those things. You're just going to be gluing them down. No one's going to see the back. But trying to think if there's anything else going on. Okay, so I like British shows. I find them funny and just entertaining. And my husband and I were watching, some sort of murder ship. The Good Ship Murder, or I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. On BritBox. And it was fairly clean, except for the murder. I mean, obviously that's a little messy. And, but anyway, it was kind of interesting to watch and kind of cute and funny. And it's this guy who was a cop in Great Britain and then decided he wanted to be a singer on a cruise ship. And of course, then he's like solving crimes. So, it's kind of funny. Mostly what I've been doing these days is just kind of lots and lots of doctor's appointments. And that's why I have nothing really to talk about right now, and I'm having a hard time concentrating, not sleeping at night. I don't know why. I find it not as much fun. I need sleep. Did I just put that upside down? Yes, I did. Let's just fix that. I mean, when I go to cut it up, who knows what direction it's going to be anyway. Okay, so we're going to put a few more roses on here. And then that's going to be good to go. And then I don't think I'll cut it up straight away, because I don't know how I'm going to cut it. I'm not ready to use it yet. So I'm going to wait to cut it up until I am ready to use it. I love these purple roses, by the way. Of course, you know I love purple, but purple and green was my mother's favorite color, so I love those two colors together. So this is quite a cluttered masterboard. I'm going to see if I get a lighter purple rose to stick down here. But like I said, that'll be fun because you don't... Oh, I think I'm off screen, sorry. You don't have to do any really decorations after that. It's just done for you. And, oh, there's a bow that got stuck in. Let's see. Can we put a bow? I think I'll put that one on sideways. I've been posting a lot of dog rescue things lately on Facebook because there's so many that are in danger of, you know, being euthanized, and it breaks my heart. I would take them all in. Gibson, though, has a weird tick wherein he does not like other dogs, just the ones we have, so he loves people. He just is not a big fan of other dogs or critters of any kind. So we just have to be hyper vigilant with him and make sure he doesn't, you know, escape and things like that. Let's see. Okay, so I'm thinking, will that fit there? Or that one, okay. So I'm gonna make it look like this is a bow on the end of this bouquet. I like that. Cute. Okay, do we need some more bows? Maybe another bow up here in the left. Oh, I wish I had something really fascinating to talk to you about. I mean, some people really can just talk. It's not like this is, you know, rocket science and basically like gluing stuff. I know that goes up over that a little bit, but I'm okay with that. And let's see, one more right in the middle there. This will be a fun cluttered. And then when you cut it up, you know, you've got bits and bobs of everything on there, and it makes it so cute. Okay, let's fill in with some roses, hither and yon, and then we'll be done. And I will have kept you far longer than you needed. But that's okay. Thank you for coming along and playing, because it is fun. It's more fun. Oh, there's another thing. It is more fun to play with somebody than by yourself. Well, some people might prefer to do it by themselves, but I would rather have somebody to play with. My sister and I have a friend, Crystal, and we sometimes just craft together on a video chat, and it's quite funny. So I might put some little skinny rosebuds in some corners. And, whoop, that's a big piece of glue. Big dauble. Well, and this might not be for everybody, but I like the prettiness of all the pictures. It might be more than what I've ever done before. This is a really cluttered masterboard, and I haven't even put any lace on it, but that's okay. All right, there we go with that one. And I have talked your ears off. The next ones I make might not be as cluttered. I just thought this one, you could see what it looks like when it's really cluttered. And this may just look like a mess to you, right? But then when you go to cut it up, like if you look, like there's a pocket. And look how pretty. And you put like a sentiment piece of lace and you've got a pocket and it's pretty. This you may have like, oh, I'm dropping the glue. This, you know, might be a tag. And that's a pretty tag. I mean, the bow, you might have to make it a tall tag so you can fit the bow in. Or maybe that's a pocket. I don't know. But some people then kind of turn it upside down and like cut, and so then you just don't know what's going to be. And I found that when they do that, I mean, it terrifies me, but I have found that when they do that, it is so pretty. And I'm always shocked. I'm always like, how does that turn out so pretty when you can't even see what you're cutting? But I think that's the trick, is to not, because if you're looking at what you're cutting, then you're like hindered, right? And by the pattern and what's there, you know. But if you turn it upside down and you maybe only get like half of that, you can still tell what it is and it's pretty. And, you know, on the other half, you've just got a pretty little spray of flowers. So, I mean, I can see it. You know, Tina often puts like half of a label, and I love it. I wouldn't have thought to do that myself, but I love it when I see her do it. Now, see, this is the only problem I have with this kind of glue. If you put something down and then you move it, you can see little kind of shiny spot where the glue is. But you take one of these erasers that you can get from the Dollar Tree for $1.25, and you can erase this kind of glue, and it just falls right off of there, and there you go. So there you have it. I don't know if you can see it all, but that's our cluttered masterboard for today. Get out your scraps, get out your fussy cuts, get out your labels, whatever, and put something together and make it fun. Next time I may break out some labels as well. We'll see. Okay, y'all. Hugs. Bye.